All right, we are live. Welcome to anybody who's been waiting. I know I was running a little late there. I am here with my lovely co host, Shay from Shay with the Hobbies.
Good morning, y'all.
And it's been a while since I've been live, like a good couple of months.
Ditto. Ditto. I feel like the last live I did probably was with you now that I'm thinking about it. I feel like it was the Blood at the Root live. It was probably the last live I did.
I was thinking about doing lives like a couple of times, but the way my allergies were acting up for
I
like
can definitely
weeks,
understand that.
I mean, they're slightly better now, but it was real bad the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the weather change definitely will do that, so I can believe it.
Yeah, the
Like
ragweed here was so bad.
my eyes are watering right now.
Yeah, it was like the watery eyes. It was the constant congestion. Like sometimes I would be talking fine, and then the next thing, like my nose is preventing me from speaking right.
I hate that. I definitely understand. I
So
definitely
I'm like,
understand.
even making content was a struggle, but it's like I had to keep
Man,
stopping and
you
taking
still
breaks.
gonna beat it than me because I can't tell you the last time. That's my plan today is to shoot a video. So
That is good. My plan is to work more. Y'all know I've been working on this urban fantasy project for like well over a year now, like about 2 years almost. But I am so close to the end. The goal is to finish by mid October.
okay.
So the plan is to get some writing done on that today. I had to like go in and rework some stuff.
Okay.
Like, when you just be getting to a point where it feels like it's not going right.
No, totally. I definitely understand it. And like I've been reworking stories because my goal is to have all the short stories that I want in this collection critique read and beta read twice by the end of December so that all I'm doing is getting them to the editor in January and then going from editor editing to creating it into the book. And I mean, you were one of my beta readers for one of the stories, so it's just been
Yeah.
interesting going through this process of like, hey, what is the like say what is the word I want to use? What is the like consensus between all the beta readers and what is the one thing that everybody is saying needs to be worked on type of deal, because it's
Yeah.
really hard when you have beta readers and they don't agree on anything, because then you're like, well, what do I need to change? But luckily for me, almost all of y'all agreed about everything that y'all said. Like everybody's comments were almost exactly the same, so it made it really easy. But I'm intrigued to see how that process will go after each story I finish. Like, will it be the same? Will there be differences because they're not all the same type of stories?
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see how it goes. But I'm excited. I'm just like focus on this, and that's what I've been telling myself about videos. Like, yeah, I want to put videos out and I want to get my content out. I want to finish this book more. So if I'm writing versus putting a video out, well, good. I got the writing done. But the balance of the two is
Yeah.
hard. So I
That's
commend
that's how
everybody
it
who
be. Especially with reading too. Like I want to finish reading this book, but like, do I want to write this day instead? Because if I'm writing heavy on a day, I'm not reading heavy that day.
so true. So true. Because you're wrapped up in the story and you don't want to like cross contaminate your story with what you're reading. And that's really hard, especially if you're reading something that's good, but also has things that you want to like address in your story. Because then you start changing stuff that wasn't supposed to be changed because you're like, well, now I want to address this because I just read this and this was not done how I
Yes, you be seeing like even watching TV sometimes I'll be seeing stuff and I'm like, oh well, actually that's really interesting. Let me file that away.
right. No, I do that all the time. All the time. And yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
it
I
has
was
you
gonna
going
get
down a
done
whole
on
other
here.
path.
So I know I was gonna get done on this channel. We gotta stick with short stories. Cause bro, the day I finish the novel, I'm gonna feel real proud of myself. I know it's gonna take forever, but I'm gonna feel real proud.
That's what I'm saying. I've been working on this novel forever, but I am feeling like so much better where
Right.
I'm at with it now than where I was like a month ago.
Ditto. Ditto. Sorry. Whew.
All right. So let's go ahead and hop into the first round. We're going to do a 30-minute to start us off.
I'm with that. I'm gonna make my coffee as well.
I had my little smoothie earlier, so I am ready to go.
Sounds good.
All right, y'all. Well, we will see you in 30.
All right.
All right, so that was sprint number 1. How did everybody do? Let me know how you did in the comments. I do see that a few people came through. Hello, hello. Have Alicia came through. Hey. As well as Tia. Hello, hello.
Yeah, I think that picture is really cool.
Yeah, I like it. And Lunash Egg came through as well. Hello.
Good morning, y'all. Well, afternoon, I guess. About to be.
Yeah, afternoon for some of us, morning for some of us. Alicia said she read 2 chapters. You see what my
So I got stuff done around the house. Like I need to feed the dogs and make my coffee and whatnot. So I got set up to write. The story that I'm working on this week is Writing is Murder. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have two specific things that I need to do. I need to transition from the initial interrogation scene to the like confession. And then in the confession, I need to go from like the argument that leads up to the murder to the actual murder happening. So those are my two like main goals this week to get written. So that's what I'm gonna be working on during the stream. So
That's good. I am getting closer to the end of the story, so I have just like a few chapters left, and I'll be in like that last section.
okay.
It's just like tying together like all like the loose ends because I have multiple people who like are kind of like the villains of the story. So it's like finding a way where they all connect.
Okay, I understand that. That makes sense.
I got 278 words written that round.
Ooh, okay, nice.
So starting off nice. Let's see. Naki says, still writing, working on morning pages. Glad
Yeah,
you're making some progress.
that probably should be where I start off with next.
He said, took a break from work listening to Orbital by Samantha Harvey.
Okay, I haven't heard that.
I'm so behind on books. Like, I say this all the time, but
Ditto.
I'm really behind on books now. Like,
Ditto.
every arc that I have, I end up finishing it like a day or two after release day at this point.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, I'm not going to be caught up anytime soon at this rate. And I have a library book that is due in like 4 days that I need to like get to it because it had a long wait time. And then it just, it just came in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm well behind. I'm like, I would like for September to be the catch up month so that I'm on track for the last quarter of the year. But that's an ambitious goal. I'm not gonna lie. It's a very ambitious goal.
Yeah, so like sometimes you want to be caught up and life just don't work out that way.
That part.
So I'm like, at the very least, I'm going to try and finish that library book by the end of this week before it goes back. Only because it's been one of those in demand books. It's called Sweetness in the Skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's been all over Bookstagram. It's like set in Jamaica. It's literary fiction. It's been really popular. So I've been seeing it like all over the place. A lot of people were talking about it. I had some friends reading it, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna put in my request because I was not trying to pay the money for the book. The
Mm-hmm.
book was like $30 hardcover,
Ooh.
maybe
Yeah.
even more than that. And I'm like,
Yeah. I'm definitely going on a new book buying ban. I'll buy used books all day.
mm-hmm.
New book buying ban outside of if Elizabeth decides to drop a book or Nora decides to drop a book, I'll get it. Outside of that,
Yeah. And Elizabeth says she ain't dropping a book for a while, so
right.
you good.
Nora ain't got nothing waiting that we know about yet. Nothing's been announced, so I think I'm in the clear.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't be buying any new books for a while either, unless it's like under $10.
They're so expensive. They are so expensive. Oh, and I take the and Lizelle. I'll get Lizelle's. But that's because like I really, 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 really like Lizelle's books. And there's not a book that she has that I haven't got except for the like IP one. And
Yeah.
that one, it was like a He-Man book or something like that, and I wasn't gonna read that no way. So
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, I just I'm not I'm not doing it. I just don't. I put it in my wish list, so if somebody wants to bless the sister, they can do that. But because it's so expensive, and like we have our library book sale this weekend, $1 for a bag full of books. Okay, I'll definitely do that over $20 for one book.
Yeah, and you might find some hidden gems and stuff.
Right. And I'm almost always finding the things that I need to finish out a series. Almost always. So
Yeah, and like I sent you some books like when you eventually get to them. Like, so
right.
you
No,
got a
like
couple
that's the
things.
thing is like I yeah, I don't have a reason to be buying new books anymore. Like honestly, because I can't afford it.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot right
It's
now.
been like one book a month if I do, because they're so expensive.
Yeah, I just bought like a bunch of stuff for like I'm going to Boston at the end of the month. My mom and I are going on a little mini vacay.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought some stuff for that. So I'm like, yeah, I can't just be buying stuff willy-nilly.
Right.
Holidays about to come up and stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Inflation is inflating, and my money ain't inflating with it. So no.
Not at all.
The prices is rising and my pockets ain't. So we're gonna have to figure something out.
That's what I'm ready to hear about what their plan is to fix and make things affordable again. Like even buying underwear recently was too much money, in my opinion.
When nothing is affordable anymore. Not a thing. Like I've been watching the show The Great Food Truck Race, and so we started watching the like last two seasons, and so we went back to when it first started, which was like the early 2000s, and just hearing we'll feed your whole family of four for $12. I can't feed my dogs for $12.
Yeah, like remember how like back in the day, I don't know if you ever saw it, Rachel Ray used to have that show. It was called like $40 a day, and she would go to different countries and like cities and stuff and spend $40 in one day, like and get like all her meals for the day. You can't be doing that no more. Like she used to be able to throw in drinks and everything.
No, no, not at all. It's insane. It is insane, and I just be like, y'all, we don't have to live like this, but nobody seems to be listening. Cause why are we living like this? Why? Why, y'all? Why?
Yeah, everybody's talking about like, oh, are you planning any trips for next year? I'm like, I have no clue. The way my life is set up right now.
Right. With what money, sweetheart? The prices is constantly rising. How? How? You gonna be my sponsor? You gonna sponsor my trip? I'll go if you sponsor it, cause it's a lot. This was not the 30s I had in mind, let me tell you. This
Oh,
is not
not at
how
all.
this is
Not at
not how
all.
I thought my 30s was gonna go. I didn't
My
expect it
30s
to be
started
like
off
this.
bad last year and they just it's going
Yeah, like this is not what I thought the 30s was gonna be like, baby, at all.
it's going.
That part. That part.
All right, so you up for another 30?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. So we will see you guys in 30 then. All right. So I got less done that round. I had to stop and go get the mail, which had a lot of packages to pick up today. So good thing I went and got it. I got 118 words written.
I only got about 250 words written, so not nearly as much as I wanted to, but it's a great start for the day, so I'm not upset about it at all. So I'm happy with that.
At least we're getting words out there.
Right. We getting words that we did not have. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I had like a couple of things, packages that came and stuff I had to go grab. And I had to refill on my tea. I've been like a coffee person lately, which was never a big coffee person, but I got like a Keurig for free. I posted about it on I posted it on my Instagram, but it's like one of those Keurigs that it's a new one, and it does hot and cold drinks, so you can cold brew the coffee right away. And so they had sent me some pods to test out, and then I bought some more pods. So that's been like my current obsession, kind of like
That's
making my
cool.
lattes and stuff.
Oh, I love that for you. I obviously have not been on Instagram because I don't know this, and I gotta go look at your Instagram and be like, let me see what's going on.
Yeah, I'll send it to you so you can see the machine. It's a nice like
Yeah,
machine, and I was
it's
like
definitely cool.
really happy that I got it because like the day that they like, oh, we're gonna send you a Keurig, I was like feeling really down.
Yeah, hey, no, that would cheer me up too. Like, okay, little blessings or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'll take that little blessing, like, because I did not have the 200 to spare for that. But I was like, I'm usually such a tea person, so now I'm like drinking more coffee, like as I play around with these different pods and trying
I
to find them
understand
on
that.
sale and stuff. Because I used to see them
Yeah.
on sale all the time at like one of the smaller groceries near me. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like keeping my eye on when they have them on sale now.
Oh, you know, now you got a reason to use them. Like, okay, I'll see what y'all
Yeah,
got on sale. Okay, cool. I love this for you. I love this for
yeah. So that's my little obsession, making my little iced coffee and stuff right now.
you. Nice. So random, but have you got to listen to Go Off yet?
To what?
To Go Off the Go Off podcast yet?
Go off. By who?
Is Jeanette Reyes
Oh
new
yes, yeah. Oh
podcast?
yeah, I did listen to it. That was very interesting. Like first episode, just hearing like both of their journeys because I didn't really know like too much. I've been following her, but I didn't know too much about either women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, I feel like Vina would like check this out. So I was like, I wanted to ask if you got to check it out already. I've been watching the like promo and stuff they've done. So I've been like, I'm
Mhm.
trying to wait for a couple of more episodes to come out. And I can
Yeah,
like,
so you can listen back to back. Yeah,
yeah.
like the first episode, like they were talking about just like their journeys, like both of them come from like immigrant parents, so like that pressure you have, and then the pressure to be a black woman and succeed in your field, and the
Mm-hmm.
different crazy things you got to do, like at the beginning of your journalism career. And then she was
Mm-hmm.
kind of talking about like she got her dream job offered to her basically, but like at the expense of her daughter, like and her well-being and never being home and stuff. So talking to her mom about making the choice to do her.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm excited. I'm even more excited now
Yeah, so
hearing.
it was a very good listen. Like I was interested in what they had to say. Just like the little funny things they were talking about, like woman who did the podcast with her. She grew up in California, so she said it was a whole new experience coming to the East Coast and experiencing snow.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. California is not the same. And I mean, there are places in California where they do get snow that I have learned, but
Yeah.
it's still not as common as on the East Coast. So yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like, I find out like I didn't know Oklahoma got snow until a few years ago.
no, we get
When
snow
I
back.
met some people from Oklahoma, and they're like, "Yeah, right now there's a huge snowstorm back home." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"It snows there?"
yeah. People be like, I have friends who are talking about like we're in fall weather, y'all. It is still 95 degrees in Oklahoma. Like I wish fall was coming this way. We probably won't get fall weather till like end of October, beginning of November, and then we'll go straight into winter. Like we won't get fall, but for maybe 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of shaky here because one day
Stop,
it's 80,
Alicia.
one day it's
Nobody
70.
cares, ma'am, that you have
Yeah,
the wonderful 86 degrees. God.
86. It's not that hot today where I am, but like it's I think in the I think it's around 80 right now. Like our weather goes back and forth. So like one day you're in shorts, the next day you have to wear like a little sweater. And like I said, I'm going to New England at the end of the month, and I'm looking at the 10-day forecast, and it's saying rain, and I'm like, I hope it doesn't rain heavy. And I'm still trying to figure out what to pack because it's saying rain, but it's also saying 70s.
Okay, so this is where I gotta shut up because apparently it's 86 in Stillwater right now. But it says it's gonna be 93 before the day ends. But apparently it's 86 here.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out my outfits for Boston. I need to finish like my itinerary so I know exactly what places I'm going so I can finish packing. But I'm like,
Pack a
it's
sweater
gonna
no
be a
matter
layer
where I'm going.
situation.
I'm gonna be cold. I pack a sweater no matter where I'm going.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
be
always pack at least like one little sweater to throw over, but I'm like, I'm gonna have to be packing layers because we're gonna be walking around, we're gonna be going in museums and stuff. Like, I need to be able to
okay.
take things on and off.
I love a good museum.
I love a good museum, and there's so much to see in Boston. Like, I definitely want to go to the harbor.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And people are saying to go to the gardens. And then one of the women who I was on the Jamaica trip with, she lives in Boston. So we're trying to see if we can link up. Our schedule's not too busy that weekend. So I'm trying to do little things here. My last trip of the year.
I love
And then I'm
it.
gonna just be in the house. Because I've just been in the house like the past couple of weeks, especially with these allergies. I've been in the house.
I feel that.
And then I went outside on Saturday, went to my cousin's birthday party, and that was a mess. I should have stayed in the house. Like, people started fighting, and it had been a minute since I saw like a fight, like in real life, up close.
It's been a while since I say the fight. So close. I love it.
No, for real. And like, I'm not used to seeing my family like fighting each other, so that was a new experience.
Yeah.
I had only heard stories. I never was actually in the situation where it happened.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So your girl was like in the corner too, which is the worst space to be when
Yeah. No.
stuff started popping off. I'm in the corner holding a 5-year-old
Mm-mm.
who's crying, and I'm
Mm-mm.
trying to dodge and get out the way.
Mm-mm. Yeah. That
So, and
sounds
after
like the
that, I'm
worst
like,
place to be
ooh,
in.
I'm cool on family for a while. Like some of y'all, I don't need to be around for a minute now. Unless there are several other people I know who are going to be a buffer.
I understand. When I say I understand, I understand. I
Like,
understand.
the only reason I didn't walk away, like, right away was because my mom was there too.
Right.
She basically had to become the Incredible Hulk and help break up this fight.
Become
It
the
was
incredible Hulk.
well, yeah, because one of the family members who was fighting was in the military.
Okay. Well,
You
yeah.
know, they got super strength.
Well, yeah.
They
They
they trained
trained for a
fighters.
lot more things. They've trained and been prepared for a lot more things. So that makes sense.
So like that was the problem too. I'm like, not you going up against somebody in the military and expecting to win.
Yeah. Especially if they active duty.
Yeah, luckily she's not this was like the one fighting, she was not active duty, but like it still took a lot of people to break up the fight.
Yeah.
And my mom, like, I don't know how she was able to help tear up the fight. After that, I'm like, that was a little too much action. I don't need to be
That's a
outside.
little too much action. I love it though. It's the honesty for me. It's the
No,
honesty.
because I'm like, we're at a party. I'm like having my two little drinks, chilling, eating my
Mhm.
little food, and then stuff happened.
Hey, you know, when liquor get involved, stuff be
Yeah,
happening. Stuff be happening when liquor
That's
gets
the
involved.
problem.
I'm
Tequila
around
activated some
drinking.
people that
That's
night.
why I'm drinking, and I don't go to family functions where I know there's gonna be a lot of drinking. I'm like, I'll see y'all at the function y'all can't drink at. That's the one I'm gonna be at.
See, that was my mistake. I didn't go to the last function with this family member, which
Mm.
was the calmer one, apparently. I went to this one. I'm like, you know what? I didn't go to the last one. I can't ever. She's like one of the ones who consistently invites me. I can't say she ain't never invited me nowhere.
Right.
I'm gonna go.
Nah, I definitely get that. Like, if you can turn down enough things, you're like, I gotta say yes to something, and then the
Yeah.
one you say yes to, I've definitely been there. I have definitely been there for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was talking to my aunt the next day. She didn't go, and she's like, you know, this is why I like to stay at my house now. She's like, I'm too old to be out here at their functions.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my temper is weird too, cause like I know you didn't mean to hit me, but if you still hit me, I'm gonna want to hit you back. So like, yeah, I don't want to be collateral damage either. So
Well, that's what like there was a couple of people who thankfully walked away because they knew they weren't meant to get hit.
right,
But
yeah, that's why I've been. Yeah, some of y'all just be swinging wildly, and hitting everybody but the person you trying to hit. Yeah.
then I knew if I would have gotten hit, like between me and my mom, like it would have gone even worse. So like that's
Right,
why
'cause
I
I
was
know
dodging.
yourself. Y'all know that's one of my favorite things to tell. You gotta know yourself. I know myself. I will forget that I know you didn't mean to hit me and just hit you back because you hit me. My reflexes is crazy. You hit me. I'm sorry. I just reacted. We don't. Mm-mm.
And then again, there was people who were in the military, like who were so I'm like, I'm not trying to fight nobody in the military.
I feel it. I feel it.
But yeah, that's why I'm taking a little break from the family. Unless
Mm-hmm.
it's something nice and calm, like baby's supposed to have a party in like 3 months, I will go to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no alcohol there. It's gonna be nice and chill.
Yeah, I had my cousin's tea party, her third annual little tea party this weekend, so I'm excited to dress up and go play tea party with her. I'm
Oh,
excited.
that's cute.
Yeah, about my
Is
dress.
she going like to like a tea house or like is it at a
No,
hall or?
they just have it at their house and invite
Mhm.
people and make, small sandwiches and
Oh,
little.
that's really cute. That's something I've always wanted to do. Like make this tea and make the small sandwiches.
Yeah,
But
it's
the way these kids in
cute.
my family's attention span is set up lately, like we sit down.
Yeah, what is she, 4? She'll be 5 in December. So, yeah, so like it still works. I don't know how much longer we're going to be doing them because she's in school this year. So, we'll see. But I'm excited. It's one of my favorite things.
It's fun. You get to do your little hair, your little makeup, you wear your little
Mhm.
dress, and
Yeah. So, I bought an orange dress last year. The year before, I wore a yellow dress. I think I'm wearing a pink dress this year. So yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, that's fun. It's just she's
Oh, a
thinking about
tea
doing a
party
tea
for your
party.
birthday. That
I've
sounds
seen
fun.
people do that too. Like, I know I've seen the bus like both in Philly and New York where they have like the tea around town. It's like a bus you get on and it has like a tea party on the bus. They
Oh,
had that going on for a little bit. And then I've like seen people who they'll like do different tea houses for their birthday. Like they'll go pay money and have like
oh,
the whole full tea party experience.
that sounds cool. That sounds really cool. I know if I did a birthday like thing, I know I don't want to do like something really creative. So I probably want to do like those paint and sip birthday
Mhm.
things, or one of those is probably what I want to do with like the food as well.
Yeah, like there was a bed and breakfast around here. It closed like in the pandemic, but they used to do like murder mystery parties.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I do want to
Like
do
yeah,
that.
like you get a bunch of friends together and have a murder mystery sleepover party.
That'd be really fun. I like that too. I like that too.
Stuff like that is it's like fun to me.
I
It's just
agree.
creative and different.
Yeah, no, I'm an A, and the older you get, the more you want to do creative and different things for your birthday. You don't want to do the same birthday dinner you've been doing since you was 21.
Yeah. Most of the time, I can't get the people to come out in time for my birthday. Like, everybody got to work or something randomly that day.
And my birthday being a week before
It's the
Christmas,
first of the month, so
yeah, mine's a week before Christmas, so everybody's pretty much tapped out for what
yeah.
they gonna do anyway. So,
That's how my sister is. She's in January, the week after Christmas.
mm,
So she just never really does anything. Like, she never wanted to have no parties or nothing
yeah,
because
no, yeah. If I do a birthday dinner, it's a big if. It's a big if.
so like I'll be getting back from vacation, like right back from like my trip for my birthday this year. So
Okay, well,
I'm
nice.
just okay with my birthday being low key because I'll be doing stuff like the days
The
before.
days before that makes sense.
Alrighty, well let's hop into another sprint.
Okay.
Get some words. We're gonna go ahead and just do another 30 on. Shout out to Dave for this timer.
All right.
See y'all in 30. All right. How did everybody do? Let me know how you did in the comments. So I got 209 words that round. Hey Pablo, how's it going? So a little bit productive. I was starting to feel like in the zone. And I'm just trying to I'm getting one step closer to figuring out how to tie everything together. Like things are happening. Oh, yes. I actually during that last sprint I just briefly glanced at Instagram and I saw it and it's so pretty. I really like that. And I'm interested to see where stuff goes in that sequel now that the world has been built up. Because there's one character in particular, if you've read it, that I don't know how we're gonna redeem this person. Their actions were a little much, so I'm curious. Hey Shay.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt while you were talking about the story and whatnot. So I got another 300 words that time. I also started cooking because I've just been snacking. I recently found corn nuts again, which I loved when I was in high school. Um, they sell them at Dollar Tree, so I've been loving those again. Also, I'm a girl this week, so I've been eating nothing but candy and chocolate. And I'm trying to not do that because
Yeah.
just because I'm a girl this week doesn't mean that I need to throw away all my good eating habits and whatnot. So yeah, it's
I've actually been not snacking as much lately. I'll get a snack on grocery day and then be fine. So yeah. I've been trying to cook more. I don't know if any of y'all have been trying to cook more. I'm slowly getting there. Took a while, but now I'm trying to cook 2 times a week at least. Make sure I have meals for the next couple of days. Hello, Jay. How's it going? Oh, you in the gym, fancy. I have not seen a gym in years now.
by
I need to
gym.
get
You
back
don't
to
mean living room because that's my gym. My living room. That's my gym.
Ooh, I remember the living room used to be my gym. I used to be real good with those at-home workouts years
Mhm.
ago.
Used to is the operative word. I'm trying to get back there. I'm trying to get back there. I'm
I
definitely
need
trying.
to start walking more now that the weather is cooling down. It's better walking weather
It
because
is what.
we had hot weather this summer, stay inside weather this summer. It was to the point where I didn't realize that my neighbor's dog passed. I just thought the weather was so hot that she was just keeping him in the house.
Yeah, yeah. No, I literally wake up really early to walk them and wait till the sun goes down. So I'm like, we're gonna regulate this baby, cause yeah, yeah. Some people, they feel away when you say the actual word or da da da. So yeah, yeah. That's exactly what I was referring to. Just to say.
It's funny because I was reading Beware the Heartman and um it's middle grade. So she gets her first period right in the middle of action when she least expects it and it was funny cuz surprisingly in middle grade I don't even see that enough much
And
mention.
literally, like I learned more about having a cycle through the books that I was reading when I was a kid than
Right.
actual conversations with my parents.
Right.
And to know that like that isn't a thing now is insane to me.
Right, because I feel like in the 2000s when we were kids, like you would see more of that stuff in books.
Right.
And it wasn't like a special like,
Right. Like
like
it
the book
wasn't
is
like, oh
specifically
my God, this
surrounded.
is the only book doing it. It was like a
Yeah.
regular occurrence. Like I think we've talked about this before about things that um we don't take the time to normalize, and we don't think about the impact that it
Mhm.
has on society and things like that. And I just think that like if we did more of the things that we wish we saw when we were writing stories, just how much change that could affect. If we just, thought about that, just a teensy
Yeah,
little
no,
bit.
I was thinking about it last month because I watched the movie Ginger Snaps for the first time. Like, it's a horror movie about these two sisters. They're like really like codependent upon each other, and like one gets attacked by a werewolf at the same time she gets her period for the first time. Like they're like late bloomers, they're like 16, 17 and had their period yet. And then it's kind of like puberty and becoming a woman and branching off, but also like she's literally turning into a werewolf.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's a movie from the early 2000s, but it
No,
like
no, no.
really holds.
I saw it coming up on Peacock after Beetlejuice the other day.
Yeah, because a
Like,
lot of Sabrina Carpenter like featured a reference to it in her music video recently, so a lot of people were talking about it. I had actually, funny enough, watched it like the day before she
mm,
featured it, and so then I was seeing it all over the timeline. I'm like, oh, we're all watching Ginger Snaps together, I guess.
oh, that's so funny.
But
That's so
like so many of my friends were saying, oh yeah, I loved that movie when I was a kid, and like even like watching like interviews from the actors and stuff, they just said like you don't see horror like that much anymore. Like that's why it's like they people still come up to them and talk to them about it, and they're like they did that when they were like young teens and they're like their 40s now.
right. Right. Like
Just
those
because
things.
there's like no other horror movie like that. And
Right.
there's not
No,
like a lot of media
those
like that.
things have an impact. Like for sure. And definitely have an impact. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I be having little sayings for different things. I'm a little weird though, so take what I say with a grain of salt sometimes. I'm a little weird.
Right? Nobody.
Mm-mm. No. I immediately was like, well, maybe I don't want to be a woman because this don't feel good at all. I don't like this.
Right,
I
and
don't
that's
like
the
this.
funny thing about the book. Like I was reading, like she's like has to have this she doesn't have a mom. Her mom passed, and her dad was out of town, so she's like with the neighbor who was like really close to her. And she's like, I had this long, embarrassing talk with her about how I'm suddenly a woman, and apparently, new Josephine can't do what old Josephine did. I gotta sit in the house and do this. I gotta drink this, like all
That's
types
so
of stuff.
funny. And the first book, I still to the day remember like the scene in which the character gets her cycle, and her parents are divorced, so she gets her cycle while she's with her dad. And I just remember thinking, this is so different. Like I
Hmm.
remember the first show, I remember seeing like a daughter get her cycle. It was the Hughleys, and she was with her dad when she
Yeah,
got her cycle, and not her mom. And I just remember all these being really big moments because we're like we're given this impression that men don't know or don't understand or don't take the time.
yeah, because
And
most
in
of the time they
all
try to
these
avoid like the
they
plague.
try to avoid these, but in all the scenarios that I saw as a kid, that's not the impression I got. Like, yeah, it was awkward when the dad and his three best friends went to the store to buy pads and they bought every pad because they didn't know what to
Yeah,
do.
I remember that.
Like, right? Like, it was hilarious, but it was also, no, my daughter need pads. I'm gonna go get it, right? Like, it's not. So I just think there are a lot of things that as creators, we have a lot more power in changing and being a part of change than we realize.
Right. Plus,
And I
like, I
just,
didn't realize that some people in the Black community have like a stigma against tampons till I was grown. Because my mom gave me my first tampon. It was like I want to say like 5 years ago or something at work. I heard these two coworkers of mine talking, and like the one was really upset that somebody gave her daughter a tampon at school.
Yeah, so it wasn't a stigma in my family, but I knew about it because I knew from other people. And I never got, like, my grandmother never brought the option up until she felt like it was a reason to wear one, which is when I wanted to go swimming and I was on my
Yeah,
part.
I was going to a pool party. Mom's like, "You ain't about to sit outside the pool. Use the tampon." The end. That was it.
That's literally how it came up for me. Like, that was the situation. And I think it's such an interesting thing. Like, I think there are so many different things in which, for me specifically, and for a lot of people that I went to school with, the things that we watched, that we had access to, that wasn't like things that we snuck and watched, like
Mhm.
the shows we were allowed to watch family wise, and the books we were allowed to read family wise within our age bracket, touched on so many things
They
that
did.
we were educated and stuff, even when our parents weren't having those conversations with
Right,
us.
because I remember Braceface doing an episode about her having her period too.
Right.
Like,
Like Lizzie McGuire, like there's so many
yes,
different conversations and things that were happening on these shows that we were watching and in these books that we were reading for our age bracket, that I don't think people were really seeing how much we were getting that
yeah,
these new generations don't. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, everything's so woke now." No, there's not a black television show that was created that you can't go back to any to a season and not see them handle a racism situation, or you don't see them handle a sexism situation. Like, you see that in all the shows. Like, they covered these bases all the time, well
yeah.
before Me Too, well before all the stuff that we have now, because these were things that always mattered to us.
Oh yeah, thongs, that was never a thing in my house. Like, we were
Oh
never
yeah, no,
those.
I
But I
definitely was
remember
grown.
having to teach somebody how to put in a tampon in high school because she
Yeah,
never
yeah, I was
experienced it.
definitely grown before I ever bought a
Yeah,
thong. First of all,
right.
and so here's the thing: I still wear t-shirts over my bathing suit, but I have. I mean, y'all see me. My chest
Mhm.
isn't small. It is really hard. Like, they make clothes with so little fabric nowadays. It's
They
like
really
you want
do.
to
It's
show your body off all the time. And I'm already like, my body is not made for clothing that they sell anyways. Like, I'm small but oddly proportioned in different areas that y'all don't create clothes for to begin with. So it's already hard. And then
yeah.
y'all want to make stuff like, I shop in the men's section full stop, because they make shirts that don't come way down to here, that my chest is already gonna make them worse. Like, it is so
The
hard to
t-shirt
not.
struggle be rough, and I'm not even, like, huge, and I still feel like the
It's
t-shirt struggle is
so
rough.
rough.
Like, when I was growing up, I didn't really have to worry about it. I was skinny, and I was flat-chested. So,
See, and
like
I've always been skinny and not flat chested, and
so
that,
when I it wasn't until, like, end of high school, college, like, I started filling out a little bit, and then
y'all, I was a junior in high school when I was a triple D as a junior in high school.
the struggle.
The Exactly,
Like, cause I was
exactly.
so tiny, like, when everybody was wearing them short skirts in the 2000s, I was, like, 13 wearing them too. My mom didn't care because I had nothing to show.
Nothing, no,
I was flat.
literally, because you could, it goes so far down because there's
Yeah,
nothing keeping it from rising. Like, literally,
yeah.
y'all, I was 107 pounds when I graduated high school. Y'all, I'm not tall. Like, I'm a little person. Like, little. That's like, I still wear shirts because usually when I go swimming, I'm swimming with kids. I don't want to be exposed around kids. Like, that's just something that
The
makes
bathing suit
me
struggle be hard
uncomfortable.
because they don't make the chest area big enough.
They don't. They barely make the behind one big
Yes,
enough. Like, they
I bought
really.
one that I did not realize my ass would be hanging out in, and I had put this bathing suit away for, like, a year, and so I packed it without trying it on first. I'm like, "Well, it's just gonna be one of those days."
It's just gonna be one of those days because you don't have no alternatives. Like, it's crazy. That part. You think that things would be less stigmatized, and it's literally worse. Like you would think like, yeah, it's so hard. Everything is a crop top. Kev on
Yes,
stage did a
everything is a
video.
crop top.
Kev on stage did a video. He said, "I just need y'all to tell us what stuff is gonna be a crop top because
It's hard to gauge when
he
you're
said
buying clothes
I bought
online.
a double XL and I thought I was getting a double XL." And he did the video and literally he like hands up and all you see is belly. You would not get me to believe that a double XL would do that on anybody.
I accidentally bought a crop top the other day. Like I thought it was just a regular button-down shirt, not realizing it's a button-down crop top.
Right. And the part is
Luckily, it
like,
doesn't crop too far, so I can like wear it comfortably. But still, like so many times I'll go to buy stuff and it ends up being a crop top and it looked like a full-size shirt online.
right. For me, they don't be crop tops. They be like dang near bandos. Cause they don't go
Yeah.
far enough down to crop nothing. Like I just yo, the struggle is real. Why are we paying the same price for half the clothes? Make it make sense. Half the clothes, y'all.
Even finding a good jeans jacket is hard. I'm helping my sister find one, and finding one that goes down like to the waist
Literally, I see why
is hard.
thrifting just keeps coming back in style. Cause like you gotta go to somebody's grandma's closet to get
You
that
really do,
actually gonna
because
work.
I've been struggling to find her just a plain blue one that goes down to her waist that accommodates people who have broader shoulders, because that's another thing clothes don't really accommodate for, you having broader shoulders. Neither one of us have like thin backs. Like
Ditto, KJ. Ditto.
yeah, she's gonna have to end up breaking down and paying that money to get a good
Right.
one from
You're gonna have
Levi,
to pay some money. That's the
because
other part.
Levi seems to be the only one who's doing them well. And but there's a pricey right now
Right.
because they're doing them well.
Right. Yeah, crop t-shirts are a thing now. Definitely. I want a whole t-shirt. Thank you very much. What are we gonna do when winter comes? We just gonna wear crop t-shirts all winter? That's what we doing now.
Yes, I have. My friend bought me a cropped sweater one year, like so it's like full turtleneck, like real warm, but it's a crop top,
you know,
and that's the
it's the
only
market
crop
for
sweater
it.
I own.
It's the market for it. I'm just not the intended buyer. I just
So like it's the only crop sweater I own because I usually don't.
yeah, no. I bought a sweater and I did not think it was gonna be a crop sweater. But with my chest, it definitely is. But I definitely wear a tank top under it. Cause yeah. I think it's the one that's in this that you have on this thumbnail actually. There's a tank top on under it because yeah. I was like, oh, you can definitely see my bra. That's not gonna work.
Yeah. She also got me a cropped denim jacket too, which I've only worn like a few times, like if
Which
I'm
those
traveling the
I
bus
can
during the
see
summer.
because like
Yeah.
outerwear, I can see those. Like
Yeah.
I remember having tons of those
Yeah.
in the early 2000s, like crop
Yeah.
denim jackets to throw on with everything. Yeah, especially because you're like, I just need my arms to be warm.
Yeah, so it comes in handy for the summer, like if I'm on a bus trip or something, and I just need my arms to be warm with from the AC. But I'm like, yo, I need for these fall jackets, I'm gonna need y'all to make them longer.
I remember I went to LA and I bought like we thought it was like I think we got it was like an extra large. And so I was like, sure, it'll be cropped, but it'll stop right here. Right here. Don't even go. So it's going in the Goodwill pile. It's never actually been worn. It's been tried on, but it's never actually been worn.
That's the worst too. When the hassle to be able to return stuff is too much,
Right.
so you just gotta deal with it and give it away.
You know, somebody will be blessed. I'm fine with that. I'm not that stingy. It don't bother me that much. But it's definitely like it is. There are so many ways in which we spend so much money, so much more money now, and get so much less than we used to get. And I just
Yeah,
want
because
to
I
remind
remember
everybody, we
when
don't
you
have to.
weren't able to wear crop tops to school like that, but then I see my
That's the
cousin's
other part
daughter.
that's crazy is the stuff
My
that kids
cousin's
can wear to
daughter,
school.
I see her mom posting her up all the time on her Facebook in little crop tops at school.
First of all, we couldn't even wear straps that wasn't 2 fingers wide. Let's start
Mm,
there. let's start there. I I'm not at all saying that I think that all of our dress code things should have been allowed, but I just I don't know. I don't think you should be going to school just like you would be dressed at the club. That's just me.
Yeah, like I remember you used to get like told like about that, like your
Oh,
belly hanging out back our day, and like they people was wearing shirts that went down to their waist,
mm-hmm.
like just riding up. Theirs were just riding up. Now it's like no, it's like barely under your boobs, and they're wearing that to school. I'm like, okay,
No, you definitely if you wore a shirt and your hands were up and you could see that you could still get down.
yeah. I'm like, school done changed.
Mm-hmm.
Went
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and then like I still was seeing like people comment on like the picture too. Her daughter's supposed on the first day of school, and it's like people were like, "Girl, tell her to pull her shirt down."
What I think is crazy is the shorts and the skirts. I will say that. Like I haven't
Mhm.
seen as many crop tops as I've seen like the shorts that I'll be like, these don't even come to the middle of your thigh. Yeah, we had to wear ours had to come past your fingertips. So it didn't matter
Well, they wearing
what
that to
size
school
it
now. I
was.
remember they wear that a lot to college, and we used to make fun of. There was a specific subset of white girl at
Mm-hmm.
school. It wasn't all the white girls. Like it was in college. It's a specific subset of white girls who used to wear the shorts that were so short that their pockets would hang out,
Wow.
and we used to make fun of that.
We had the ones that
Especially because like most of us could not fit into them things, so we would be we'd be like, man, I
we
wish
had the ones
I wish
that
I had
wore
no button. I could wear something like
the shorts so short and the t-shirt so long you thought they didn't have anything on. And that's the ones we had.
I just remember we used to talk about that all the time, like how like being able to wear the shorts where your pockets literally hanging out underneath.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you saw somebody selling Bermuda shorts? Don't worry, I'll wait.
I haven't seen that in a
Don't
minute.
worry, I'll wait because those are my favorite type of shorts.
They
I
are.
personally love Bermuda shorts
I like
because
Bermuda
I
shorts too, but
personally
people
don't like
complain when I
to
wear them.
have. I don't like to have my ass out. Personally, I just don't.
People
I
complain when I
don't
wear them,
mind
but I'm
having
like, I
my
got thick
thighs out to a
thighs.
certain degree,
I don't have a lot of butt. I have thick thighs,
but I
so
have really thick thighs. I have really thick thighs to be as little as I am. I don't like having them out all the time. I really just don't. So I am fine with my shirts coming off right above my knee. Personally, do you know how hard it is to find them? You
yeah, I
know who
know.
they're not hard to find them for? Men. So again, I shop in the men's section because you can find Bermuda shorts for men. And you know what I am small enough to do? Fit the men small. I can't fit nothing else, but the men small I can. Like,
No, I like a good Bermuda shorts too, but I haven't bought one in a minute now because
right. Because
they.
it's so hard to find. Like usually if you find Bermuda shorts now, it's because you found a set. It's because you
That's
found
what
an
I'm saying.
outfit
Like,
set that
especially if
came
you're sitting
together.
in public, like I want to be covered if I have to go sit somewhere in public.
That is definitely me. Like I don't think people. I think we've moved into a society that just assumes that everybody wants to be seen and everybody likes attention, and that's not true. Like what you wear does add to the amount of attention you get. I don't want to wear things that's gonna get me more attention. And if all y'all make are clothes that's the only option I have, that's frustrating.
Yeah, because I've been stopped on the street just walking in the neighborhood, just wearing shorts, plain shorts and a tee by men.
Like I don't like I every shirt I have that y'all offer is only V-neck. Why? Why does every shirt y'all sell me have to show cleavage? Like what is the thing? Right? Old Navy used to be the king of Bermuda shorts. Right. It's definitely thrifting. Definitely thrifting.
Thrifting is so taken over by people now. Like,
Right. Because so many content creators and all the
yeah,
other stuff, it don't even be thrifting prices at some
I
places.
actually stopped. Like, I remember when I first got out of college, I went to the Goodwill and I bought a bunch of stuff too because I needed to replace my wardrobe. I gained a little weight by then. Then, like, after a while, I stopped going to Goodwill because they started selling the stuff back like the same price it was in the store. Now everybody and their mom is in there trying to hunt for deals.
Right.
It's too much. I'm like, so I haven't been to Goodwill in a hot minute.
Man, KJ, on almost every pair of jeans, there's a sticker to show you how it enhances the curve of your booty and like it's like, bro, bro. I
I
just
don't
want to live
have
in my
much.
skin. I just want to live in my skin, truly. Like,
I don't have much, so I don't want that weird pucker in the back that tries to accentuate what's not
right?
there.
Like, I really just want to wear something that fit. Truly, like, it's just such an interesting like place to be in. Like, you can't find nearly as much stuff to cover yourself as you be on. Like, it's so, and not even like I don't like the other things. I just want more
Mhm.
options. Like, those things are fine when I want to wear those things. I just don't want this to be the only option I can choose from. Like, it is
Yeah,
really
it's
hard.
like even sometimes you want like a shorter dress that doesn't go down to your knees, but you
Mhm.
also want it to cover your butt,
Right? You want
and
something that hits mid thigh. Like,
that's hard to find.
like I don't want something that I bend over. Like, I'm
Yeah,
constantly pulling my dress down the whole time. Who
but I
wants
don't want to have to wear a dress that's to my knee, like
right?
below my knee.
Right. I don't want to be out here feeling like I gotta carry a trail behind me either.
So like that's the hard part too, because then you'll find something that fits so form fit and nice, but it's like below, but like it's coming down to like almost your ankle.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely. I'm not gonna hold y'all. It has definitely made me be like putting more time and effort into crocheting, knitting, and learning to sew. Cause I swear to God, I'm gonna just start making my own clothes. Give me a couple more years, cause at this point, I'm over it. At this point, I'm over it.
That's
It's
the
too
way to do it
expensive.
though.
It's too
It's funny because I
expensive
was
for
writing.
stuff that I don't like truly, or
It's
stuff
funny
that
because I have
doesn't
a
even
character in my
last.
book, a side character who has a specific style, and she's like, "No, I don't thrift no more. Everybody then took that over. I make my own clothes."
That part. Like, no, I'm definitely about to get on the make my own clothes train because it's ridiculous. Also, I'm looking at boyfriend jeans because I feel like I know what that is, but I also feel like I don't know what that is. So,
Yeah, they're like the men's style jeans. They were really popular when I was in college too, because I remember I had like one pair that I got from somebody else. Because I remember one of my mom's coworkers had gifted me a bunch of clothes, like real nice
mm,
clothes, some designer and everything, and I was rocking.
okay. So the ones that kind of look like hot waters.
They're like wider in the thigh and stuff.
Okay. Because everybody in here look like they got jeans that don't fit them. Everybody look like they got on their little sister jeans in all these pictures. But they all look like high waters.
They must have changed how it looked
But like
because
I just put boyfriend jeans in Google, but again, but don't nobody look like us. So there's that.
yeah, I'm getting black people, but like some of these I'm looking at, these are not boyfriend jeans. I'm like, no,
Okay.
boyfriend jeans are
Okay, so
boxier.
you seeing what I'm seeing? Like the one thing they got in common is they don't come all the way down for most of them. So that's
Yeah,
what, like, is
like
that what
no,
they
no,
are?
no. They used to come all the way down, and they
Okay.
were a little bit looser than these ones I'm seeing in these photos. I see boyfriend jeans done changed up too,
Okay, KJ, can you send me pictures of what you mean, please? Like
because
what
the
jeans
jeans I'm
you're
looking
talking
at
about?
that are coming up,
Because what I'm
they were
seeing,
never that tight.
I don't know if these are the right ones. I just want to go with what you're talking about and not what Google is telling me because,
These look like
you know.
damn near skinny jeans, and that's not what the boyfriend jeans
Okay,
used to look.
that's what I was like. These aren't what I was thinking. They're not what I was thinking boyfriend jeans are. So I was like, maybe I don't know. Thank you. Also, what happened to the dresses with pockets phase? We had a nice little run of dresses with pockets, and then somebody decided to stop doing that. And can we just go back to that? Can we go back to dresses with pockets? Because being forced to always carry a purse or a wallet
I really don't
in
like carrying a purse.
is frustrating. Can we
Like,
please bring that back? I'm just
I
saying.
have one of those like wallet phone cases, so a lot of times
Mhm.
I would just be throwing that in my pocket and
See, and
going.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, but still, like, if
But
I
then
don't
you
have
have
a
those,
pocket on my dress,
right,
I gotta hold it in my hand, and I'm just,
right, because there's certain situations where I'm like, I don't even want to carry like a tiny purse.
I don't, I don't want to have anything extra in my hands to keep up with. Thank you. And we had a good little run where everybody was doing it. It was like everybody got on the
We
train
did.
and was
We had a
giving
good
it
little
to
run.
us. And then what happened? It was like everybody was finally listening. And
That's
then we
like
went to stripper dresses dang there,
that's like we're still like we're still kind of we're like we are cycled back around to the era where jeans don't have pockets.
which is crazy to me.
Like at least for the girls, because I remember in college, like it was a thing we would complain about, like women's jeans never have pockets,
Or
and like
have
when they
fake
did,
pockets that,
they
that,
they
that, are, that you could put a quarter in.
yeah, or they had a fake pocket in the front because I used to wear a lot of jeggings in
Mhm. And
college
then,
too, and like so they'd only have pockets in the back, not the front.
no, literally, what I got on right now. The fake pocket on the front and the real pocket in the back.
Right. And then I remember like one time I was in a bar and some dude was pushing up on me and I'm like trying to grab my phone out of my pocket. I'm like my phone's back there. I got money and stuff back there.
Man, KJ, you remember when we used to could get pocketed dresses from Rue 21 and Forever 21, and
Yes.
like everybody had them. Everybody had them. Now I can't
Listen,
find
even
them.
cargo
Right.
pants for women be coming with fake pockets and I don't understand that. Like we bought the cargo pants so we could have more pockets.
And you gonna give us fake ones? Damn, just why? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Also, you can carry a purse that can get snatched.
And that be the thing. I really don't want to have to like get somebody off of me, and then like I'll feel somebody touching my body,
Right.
like especially if the pockets on the front of me, back. Like, come on. I just, I just miss when they was listening to us. They was listening to us.
I'm like, I'm not trying to carry nothing in my chest, so that's not gonna work out for me either.
Yeah. The femininity ladies say that is so women don't have to pay, but I need pockets for my lip gloss. Man,
Right?
I
My lip
need
gloss
I
and
need
keys,
pockets
that's
for
what I
my
need to
cell
focus more.
phone,
My lip gloss, my keys, my
my
cell phone.
my wallet, like the list of whatever I needed to
You
get
gotta
when I
always
went
have your
out to the
emergency
shopping
cash.
list. Like, come on. I
You gotta
just
always have your emergency cash
this
ready.
see, here's the thing that be bothering me, right? Here's the thing that be bothering me is like it be about femininity, right? But then it always got to do with a man. And then I just be like, girl, why can't it just be you don't want pockets?
It's
You don't
funny because all
want
these topics that
pockets?
we're talking about are nothing I see in books anymore.
Right, but it be real stuff,
And real stuff, real conversations that we're
real
having as women, and I
conversation.
don't.
I have talked about not having enough pockets in high school. I've
Yeah,
talked about not having enough pockets in college. I've talked about not having enough pockets in my career. Like, I have talked about clothes not fitting in high school. I've talked about clothes not fitting in college. Like, these are all things that are all part of real life. And you think about like cementing your stories in reality and making your characters feel real and dynamic. And it is moments like these that are small things, right?
yeah.
They're not even huge. You this could be 3 lines of conversation in the
Yeah.
middle of a scene for your characters that just cements the reality of being a woman, being a consumer, being an American in your story that people just don't even think about.
Yep.
Like, the things that make stories feel so like, okay, so I told y'all I had my beta readers read the story, right? And so there's like 3 vignettes in the story, and in the second vignette, it's like a first date. And so, like, everybody said they wanted more from that vignette. Like, everybody was like, I loved it, but if I was gonna say anything, this is where I would add some more to. So I added some more to it, right? There's literally a line in that section where it's the waitress that works there and the couple that are having their first date, and she's like, I need to take a picture of this moment for y'all, and they're just giggling, and all together they're like, because if it's one thing we gonna do, they're gonna say all together laugh. But how many times has us been with other black people been like, man, if it's one thing we gonna do, we gonna laugh. We gonna laugh through whatever the stupid thing is, whatever is going on, whatever is, but it's a real moment
Yeah.
in this little less than 6,000 word story that solidifies the reality of the scene. Just these
Yeah.
little things.
Like, I know for me in my story, there is one scene. I don't talk about religion often, like, or much in the story, but there is one scene where she is just having a real struggle time, and she ends up going to church and gets like having a breakdown. And I know so many like women who also had that happen to them when they
Oh,
were in college. And I would think since I'm seeing a lot of people cycle back to religion again right now, like I don't know if you noticed everybody's getting baptized right now.
yeah. No, there's a
Like
lot of
so
yeah.
I would expect that type of stuff to pop up more in books, but I'm not really seeing like any type of
No,
religion coming up yet.
yeah, no.
That's like a
I've noticed
taboo,
that
stay away from the topic.
when I see religion in stories, it's mostly in middle grade. I don't see people dealing with religion in hardly any sense in like YA. But in
Yeah,
middle
I've
grade,
read
I'll see like,
one YA that wasn't like completely Christian, but I feel like a lot of times like when you see like even God mentioned in passing, like it's like it has to be a Christian book, and I'm like,
mhm,
no, it doesn't.
yeah,
Because it's
I
just
think
such a
the only
part.
YA that jumps out of me, the only YA author that jumps out of me that I remember doing things around religion or talking about it or how it does is Elizabeth Acevedo.
Oh
Because
yeah, her and then
of
India
course,
Hill Brown has a
and
romance
India
that where
Brown.
they're
And I
church
don't
kids.
know, that's what I said, I don't know how she went into YA, but I know in her middle grade,
Yeah, in
definitely.
she has one YA. It's YA romance, and they're church kids. Like they meet
Okay,
at
yeah, because I
they're
haven't read
Catholic in the
the
church.
YA, but I
Yeah,
love the middle grade that I've read from her, and I want to get to
yeah,
that YA. But it's also the same with the one that you suggested. I read that I did with the that I read with Deidre, the middle grade that you
oh
introduced
yeah,
me to. Um,
Arcade.
yeah, Arcade and the Triple T Token. So I've seen that, and I think that maybe that is because in that genre or in that age category, there are more parents looking at the books and getting those, and maybe it is a little bit easier to sell in that area. And maybe I don't know, maybe authors feel like kids,
Yeah.
teenagers aren't
Well,
thinking about that
Arcade,
as much.
specifically, it came out on a Christian public from a Christian publisher too, so that also makes a
Right,
difference.
that makes a big difference. Right.
Because I know, like, I've talked to people who've done like fantasies, like where they had Christian aspects in it, and they tried selling it as YA, and they were struggling to
Yeah.
like query it.
So I'm
To
intrigued to see. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it does as well, or you have as much of a pass on it in YA as middle grade.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like it needs to be like heavily Christian. I'm saying
Right,
like
not at all.
mentions and passing and stuff you don't see much like or hear much at all. Like I can name like a handful, like the India Hill Pound, Elizabeth Acevedo one, Joya Goffney had one, but
I know
it's
I've
like
been seeing increase in Muslim representation in books, and I know that has been really, really big for me because like I grew up in a Christian home, but my next door neighbors were Muslim, and so
yeah,
like I grew up seeing them and like, hey, we're in the middle of playing a game, and oh, we have to go inside to pray right now. We can come back out after we're done. Like there was a lot of things that like I learned about their religion and learned in like obviously in contrast to Christianity
yeah.
because my grandmother was always like, well, no, well, this, Christians and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, my
Um,
mom, like, so she grew up in the Caribbean, so, like, she lived around, like, Hindi and Muslim people, and, like, her mom let them go out to, like, all little celebrations and stuff, but certain
mhm.
things, it's like, "No, no, no, you don't eat the food from whatever celebration this is," and stuff
Right,
like
right,
that.
like different things like that and whatnot. And so it's always is all to me. I always love to see religious representation no matter what it is because
Yeah,
I think that the truth of the matter is in life you're going to see multiple representations of other religions in
yeah,
life just in general. And when we act like it doesn't exist in the world, ignore like what why? Why? Like it's the same with ignoring sexism, ignoring racism. Like, why are we
yeah,
ignoring things that are very much an integral part of society? We need to talk about these things. We need to bring awareness to these things. We need to have conversations, period, whether comfortable or uncomfortable, just so that they're normalized, right? Like, why wouldn't
yeah.
we talk? Why
And that's
wouldn't
one
we
thing,
have
like, I
more?
noticed, like, it was so weird to me, like, reading so much Black White and then not hearing, like, anything about religion come up at all in contemporary because I was so used to people, having gone to church at one point when they were younger.
It's weird to
And
me.
I'm
And
like, "Okay, well, I guess, like, because people really aren't going to church like that," but now I'm seeing it cycle back around where people are going to church like that again.
so for me, it's weird,
So,
period, because so y'all know me. I grew up a big Babysitters Club fan, right?
yeah.
Huge Babysitters Club fan. There were whole books dedicated to the twins' bat mitzvah. Like, so religion has played a part in books. Like there are conversations about them, and there have been in books before we get to this current generation. So why would we act like they shouldn't be now?
And Jewish people got a lot of holidays too. Worked with them in banking. The ones in the New York area had we had a strong Jewish population. They had a lot of holidays.
You know what I mean? Like it's just I think it's just interesting to see the things that now it's
But like, I'm not saying
it's
they
curious to
gotta
know if
force
it's
anything. I
writers
just
that
would like
ignore
to hear it
them.
in passing.
Right. It's curious to know if it's writers that ignore them or if it's publishing that ignores them. Right.
Yeah, because like I
It's
said, I do
curious to
know
know.
people who tried to do like um fantasy that was kind of like rooted a little bit in Christianity, and they got pushed back on that like heavily by like agent and editors. Like, no, religion can't be involved because you're ostracizing non-Christians. Or like I think Brit had said something about people like agents having on their list like no mentions of Christianity or other Western religions. Technically, Christianity is not a Western religion,
Mm,
and like it looks differently where depending on like which version of Christianity people are following, what group of people
right.
are following it, etc.
Right. Because the
Like
Catholicism doesn't work the same way
I
Protestant
still have to be telling
Christianity.
people that no, Christianity was in Africa before colonialism.
Right.
That's documented fact.
Right.
So it's just weird. I'm like when I don't even see like I could hear in passing like, oh, we had church on Sunday or something like that.
Right. No,
For
I'm right
me.
there with you. I'm right there with you. Like, or someone else went to church, or my grandma went to church. Just like
Yeah.
there's nobody goes to church. Nobody you know goes to church anywhere. Which again is weird for a country that has more churches than schools.
Right, there's a church. We joke all the time about there's a church on every corner around here. A little bit less
Same in
now.
Oklahoma.
Some
Like
of them churches
in
closed.
most American states, that can be
Yeah.
said. So again, like
And then like I live in a Latinx community, a lot of Dominican and Puerto Rican people around me, and Catholicism is huge in their
right,
culture. Like we grew up Catholic too, but it's not huge in Guyana. It's more like you're an outlier if you are like a Catholic compared to like Baptist or
mm,
something. So like when when people find out my mom like grew up Catholic, it's like really because it was like a very like the white people went to that church back in her day.
right. Got you.
But it's just like like I feel like it's such an integral part of certain communities that it's weird when you don't come across it often.
Right, right. And I again grew up in Oklahoma. You know, the Bible Belt, specifically Tulsa, Oklahoma, considered the buckle of the Bible Belt, the home of Oral Roberts University. So do with that what you may. So there's a difference between Baptist and Pentecostal and apostolic and non-denominational
Yeah.
and all these other things and how they move and Church of God in Christ and Church of Christ
A
and
lot of
all
churches.
these
My mom was one of those
right.
people who would send you to like, okay, you go out the house and go to that vacation Bible school this week.
Right. And my grandma was definitely not one of those. You're not going to just any denomination. There are specific denominations that you can go to, and others that you can't, because the way that they move, or the way that they believe, or the things that they allow, or Methodist and Presbyterian and all the other things. So there is so many different things and so many different layers. So one, it was hard for me seeing how much things are written these days that don't talk about it, because I was an adult before I met a black atheist.
Right, right.
I was an adult before I met a black atheist. And like around and been to a bunch of different states and met a lot of other black people before I was an adult. All right. But I'd never met one that didn't believe in any higher power. I met one that were like, I don't know what the higher power is, but I know I don't believe this. But one that didn't believe on one at all. I was an adult before that happened.
Same. Like that's not to say I didn't meet people who didn't go to church. Like,
Yeah,
but I
I met
didn't
a
meet
lot of
nobody.
people who didn't go to church. Or people who
Yeah,
were just Sunday Christians, or people who
yeah.
just came on Mother's Day, Easter, and and Christmas. Yeah.
So we had like a lot of like the one church in my area ran an after school program and they ran day camps and stuff. So you had a lot of people just get pulled in because of that.
Right.
So like they weren't steady church going people, but like if the church is in your area is doing stuff for kids, your
Right.
parents
That's
need you
the
out the
other
house. Like
thing. Like y'all didn't have like churches that came by and like did things or had after school programs and stuff, because we had those like all around town. And it
yeah,
wasn't just for like people who went to that church every Sunday.
no,
So
it
it's
was just open for
interesting.
everybody. Like we used to go to like a church used to run during the summer a lunch program. So Monday through Friday, we would be there for like 2 hours hanging out with our friends. I'd walk up to the church with my sister. We'd hang out with our friends and be having lunch.
It is really interesting.
Like it was something sponsored through the school district or something. So like they would drop off the food there, prepared for the people to serve.
And the reason that all this is interesting to me is because the reason it doesn't make sense is they're supposed to be writing about the current generation. So if you're not including these things because they're no longer in the times, what are the new things that you're including about this generation in your stories? And the truth of the matter is, you're not, because you're not talking about the lack of ability to actually make real friendships and communicate with each other because of how much you've had to deal with doing school virtually. And you're not talking about The way in which information and the way you gather information has been changed. So you're not talking about how you this generation talks so differently than we do
Yeah.
and move so differently. You're not having conversations about social media and things in that
Oh,
way.
yeah, social
You're
media and barely exists in these books,
But it
cell
doesn't
phones
exist in
barely
these
exist,
books. And the most that y'all
and
get
I
is text conversations.
yeah, since
And
I'm, like
texting is barely used in your book. So it's like, no, you are still trying to write from a nostalgic point of view of the stories that would exist in the world before, but you're not including the things that actually add value from the world before and need to be in those stories for this current generation. And you're saying that you're not including those things because you're saying, well, this is a different generation, except you're not actually addressing the things for this current generation. Y'all aren't
well,
actually
that's one thing
addressing
I'm making
suicide
sure I
and body
include.
image and those things that are hurting this generation in ways they never touched our generation. Like
Yeah.
our generation definitely had our issues with body image and things like that, but we know statistically it is nowhere close to what these new kids are having to deal with. Like it is so sad what they are having to deal with. It's just so interesting to
Yeah,
me
even the
the
technology thing,
difference.
like, in my
Right.
since I am writing a YA, I make sure, like, I'll have random lines, like, where they just randomly check their cell phone mid-conversation, because that's just a very real thing that we do now.
The first thing I did was create an app for every university I created that all the students get on and do things on. That's the very first thing that I
Yeah,
did.
I still need to name the app that the people are using in my book. I've been having trouble for months
Literally,
trying to
girl,
find
I
the name,
did the mascot for every school. The Jaguar app, the app. Literally, that's what I did. I ain't gonna hold you.
but,
Even gonna
I
hold
need to still come up with a name for a picture sharing app, like, that people are using. But I make sure I have them, like, randomly checking their cell phones in conversation and stuff.
you. Like the fact that y'all don't have people taking selfies, y'all don't have people actually pausing to create content, y'all don't have people
Yeah,
talking about
but
followers,
the
y'all don't have
characters have
these
are
are things that
contemplated.
are real. And people get irritated talking about there's too many pop culture references. Y'all don't hang around these kids. All they do is reference pop culture things. That is their life now. That is how they move. Their conversation is literally what is the TikTok of the day. Like that's the crazy part. Is if you pay attention to these kids, that is exactly how they speak to each other. So there's so many different things that there that are not being taken into consideration with this generation of YA authors and books. And I'm just curious to see like, will there be a shift? What
Yeah,
will
because
that shift be like?
even on TV, you'll see, like, social media and stuff referenced all very often. Like, I remember watching when I was watching The Order, and, like, that was, like, a few years ago. They were talking about doing, like, a memory erasure spell, and he's like, "Well, how's that gonna work in this day and age?" And it's like, "Well, that's where Twitter comes involved,"
Right.
because they
Like
needed to kinda spread misinformation to change
right, you
people's
gotta
memory.
spread misinformation, right? Like
So
that's the
he's
only
like,
way
"That's what
people
Twitter was
can
for."
right. Like I think there's so much room to write so many good things and touch on so many different areas. And it's just like, oh, we can start reinventing the wheel and do something great, y'all.
Yeah, instead of, like, just worrying about recreating, like, our favorite books or TV shows of our teenhood, like, let's try and see if we can switch things up a little bit
And even
for
if
the
we
new
are
generation.
trying to recreate it, understand that we're creating it for a generation that exists now. Like that's the other part of it. You can't lie to yourself about who you creating it for. If you're not creating it for these new kids, it needs to be adult. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Because if you're not creating it for the new kids, then it needs to be an adult book. Truly.
Yeah, because, like, there are plenty of adult books with teen characters too. Plenty of them.
That movie
Especially on the more
13 was not for 13-year-olds to go watch.
especially on the more literary when you start getting into like some of the more literary books, like the one that I borrowed from the library, Sweetness in the Skin, the girl is 12. But this is
Right.
an adult book.
I just I want more for the kiddos. I want more for us as writers. I want more for us as readers. I want more from publishing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true about the church, like kind of closing the social services gap. Is again, I think that's part of the reason why like you see some of these families going back to the church. At
Right.
least I'm seeing them. I'm seeing them on social media. I'm seeing them in real life.
Right. And the part that's weird is it doesn't not exist in TV. So why do y'all act like it doesn't exist in books? People still go to church on TV shows.
Yeah, because I just finished
Everybody, but it'll still be at least one person or somebody will reference go to church or somebody. You should have went to service with me, or girl, I went to church for the first time, or girl, I watched the service online. Like,
yeah,
who
I just
is
finished
that?
watching The Boys, and like the church is heavily involved in like the they make a lot of talking points about the conservative Christians in there. And so like there's a cult like church in there that a lot of people were involved in, and many of the heroes on that like the heroes on that show are involved in.
Man, listen, KJ, when I tell you that's what I'm trying to do for these middle graders, because why do we have 300-page middle grade books? It doesn't
You're
make
not
sense.
reading them.
It
They're not
doesn't make sense.
well, no, the really strong readers are reading them, but a lot of the kids are not reading them. I have like an 11-year-old niece,
Right,
she's
like
reading them.
it's not going to discourage the strong readers. It's going to discourage the ones that aren't strong.
Yeah, and I live in an area that's just like always not had strong readers. Like our reading level has always been low. Even back when I was a kid. It's not going to improve anytime soon, and these new books aren't going to help.
Thank you. Like I
Like
don't think I don't
there's a
think
whole conversation we can have about black and brown children who live in the city.
people think about, like, here's the thing. I know that there are a lot of people who read Harry Potter. I
I
can
was not
say
one of them.
that I know a lot of people who didn't. And I grew up in a very black predominant area, and I know part of the reason wasn't just the like witchcraft
Yeah, it was
aspect.
the length.
Part of them was how big those books were.
For me, it was the length.
They looked intimidating as hell to a lot of kids, especially a topic that you were already iffy about reading to begin with.
Because I read a series of unfortunate events, but I did not read Harry Potter.
I love the series of unfortunate events. And you know what a series of unfortunate events did? They got bigger with time.
Yeah.
They got bigger at a very steady pace with time. Now, the other thing that a series of unfortunate events did that made sure that I didn't finish them as a child nor as an adult, I'm going to get there. I couldn't suspend disbelief. By the time I got to book 11 every time, my suspending disbelief was like, now somebody better get this man. Why
I don't think I made it that far.
man?
And also, like, I was reading whatever ones were currently sitting on the library shelf, so I don't think I read them in order either. But like, it was good in that you did not necessarily have to fully read that series in order.
Right, because that's how I started. I started in the middle, and I was like, "Oh, this is a series." So then I went back.
Yeah, like there were certain books where you didn't have to necessarily read it in order. Like they might reference, "Oh, we lived with so and so," but they're not giving away the whole plot, and that it would ruin your reading experience.
Exactly.
And we need more books like that too, that you don't have that are like serial, but you don't have to read them in order for the kids.
Right. Alicia, it has nobody wants to admit this.
Yes, everybody and their mom was watching Greenleaf.
Nobody wants to say this. It is, and it has always been harder to find books for boys in that age group. I don't care what nobody says. I have been saying this and noticing this since my brother was a kid. It is always harder. And you know why I know it's still harder? Because the books that I've been giving my cousins are still some of the same books my brother read.
Yeah, like people don't have that conversation, and it's still bad. Like I know when I saw somebody like a teacher asking for YA recs for her boys, like the boys in her class last year, people were like, "Oh, they can just read what the girls are reading." And like
No,
she's like, to be honest, like she was struggling to find books for the straight boys in her high school. There's just not a lot like written by men with boys or like them. Like
right.
it's just not there. It's like there's a little bit in picture books, a little bit in a little bit in chapter books, a little bit in middle grade, but then as you go further up, like there's less, and then that's why the boys have to end up jumping to adult earlier.
Alicia,
Like they have
that
the
is
opposite problem.
literally why I've already decided there are 4 boys in my tutoring group because one, I'm already wanting to stop the stigma that teachers are female and only females can teach. So I
Mhm.
want there to be male tutors in this club, but also I want by some random chance a boy to at least see a character. Now I know that I'm not a man, but still the fact like do y'all not like seeing boys as like main characters? Is this bothering y'all? Like is that oh I don't understand
Publishing
it.
definitely like leans more towards girls as the main character. Like even in middle grade, if you notice, you'll see male
Everything
men
does.
writing
Men
girl
writing girls.
protagonists
And I get your money however you get your money. I get do what you
because
feel
let's
you
talk
need to
about
do.
it. One of the best-selling Black middle grade authors right now is who is male is BB Alston. His protagonist is a girl.
As a girl. Yeah, I just I want I said this on my channel the whole time I've had it. I want better for our black boys. I truly do. I want better for our boys, truly, because
Yeah, no,
again,
all of
our
them
boys
deserve
are
deserve.
getting shafted in this
They
area.
they,
And
they are
honestly, part like I don't think people realize that this is also reinforcing these negative things that they don't think that they're enforcing. Like you're not helping. You're
because
not giving them positive examples to see what they should be, to see how they should handle these situations that they're coming up with. You're not showing them examples of what to do when they get peer pressure. You're not showing them examples of what to do when they're in a room and boys are talking negatively about girls around them. You're not showing them how to stand up in situations. You're not putting them in these situations where they can see, hey, this is how you handle that.
yeah,
Like
because it's
they
crazy.
need
Because when
to
I
see
think
these
about
books as
YA
much
I've
as
read
possible.
recently that has boys, they're written by women.
Right.
And then like that has boy main characters are written by women. And then like the even like the one that I read that I can recall reading most recently, written by a white male, the protagonist was a girl.
Yeah. I want better. And again, even with the ones that I write that I know will be black boys, I'm still gonna be the I I don't want to take up this space as a black woman not allowing for black men to write in this space. But I also don't want to spend this time continuing to write for black girls and realizing that black boys don't get to feel as magical. Like
Yeah,
it's really hard
it's the catch
knowing
22.
like there's nothing but so in my family it's almost all girls. It's almost
Yeah,
all girls. Like
same.
I only have 3 nephews out of 16 nieces and nephews. Right? Like I have way more nieces. And they do get overshadowed because there's just so many girls and there's just so much things you can do and buy for a group of girls rather than one boy.
Yeah, and I think when people like hear it, they think like people are being pick me's or whatever, bringing it up. No, like they just don't have. They honestly do not have that
Just
rep when
don't
you
have
look.
it, right? Like it's not that like I love I have a whole shelf dedicated to books with black girls on the cover because it makes my heart happy. Like I love that. But I also realize that that doesn't exist in the same space for black boys. And that makes me sad.
Yeah, especially when
That
you start
makes me
narrowing
want to
down
be a
that.
part of fixing that. That makes me want to be a part of seeing that change. There's
Especially when you
nothing
start
wrong with
narrowing down the ones that are actually written by men too.
it. Right. Especially when you narrow it down to that. Especially when you narrow it down to that.
Because then people be like, oh, I don't want to read any more male authors. I mean, like, I guess if you're only reading adult fantasy, I can see, or adult horror or whatever, you can get tired of reading male authors, but they're kind of missing in other areas.
Yeah, and I think this too. I think they assume boys don't read books that aren't anime. And I feel like boys only read books that are anime because it's easier.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's easier to find. I think it's easier to access. I think it's something that, especially in this newer generation, it's something that you can bond with more people over way more than with our generations
Yeah.
were. I knew what you meant when you were saying it. I knew what you meant when you were saying it. But I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Even when I knew what you meant, do you know how many kids I know that don't read the mangas, that only watch the
And
anime?
yeah, and then like the thing with manga too is it's just kind of rep for a lot of people because it has topics that you like, not like kind of like representation you wouldn't normally see in a lot of like prose books. Like if you want to read something ultra girly, you got to go to manga. Like if it's about girly friendships, you have to go to manga. You're gonna struggle to find like ultra girly characters in a book, regular book. You got them just being friends and stuff.
Oh, I
Because
can agree with that for sure. We talk about this all the time. Where are y'all friends at? Do the YA girls not like each other? Because friendship seems to be so hard and so far
even
removed.
yeah, like YA friendship is basically non-existent. You're lucky if somebody has one friend that they have talked to in the book.
Right.
Right now I'm reading Bad Witches, which is an adult like urban fantasy book, and it is specifically about these three women who find out they're witches and become friends. So it's kind of like a charm situation, except like they're all random women.
Mm-hmm.
And what intrigued me about it was because it's about female friendship. Like I didn't see nothing about no man at the forefront because usually
Mm-hmm.
they will spin these books into then romance that mainly focuses on one couple, and that
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been happening. So that's refreshing, even though I'm only like 25% in.
That sounds really good. Actually, sounds like what I would like to read. Like, okay, I like that. That's interesting. I again, something that's really weird to me because growing up, there were so many books about friendship and girls and friendship. There were so many girly books. There are so many friendship books. There's so many books about navigating
Yeah,
friendships and disagreements and things like that. I You could throw a rock and hit a book
yeah.
series. So to not see that is again weird. And
It's
when you
very
do see it, it's what
weird.
we had in new covers.
Yeah, it's very weird to not see like books that are just about friendship versus romance. Because even like when they do, even with romance, when they do books where they'll be trying to like promote the like these are a group of girlfriends aspect of it, usually the girlfriends are only there in the beginning of the book and then they kind of go away while the main person is having their romance, and then they come back maybe for a pep talk towards the end.
Mm,
And like it's hard as an adult to maintain friendships, definitely. That's why it's nice to see healthy, long lasting
right,
ones where like people put in the time.
right. No, I think that's what I like about the couple of Shanora Williams books that I've been reading.
Hmm.
Like there'll be aspects of, hey, you ain't responded to my text. Hey, we should link up. We haven't seen each other in a few months and da 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 da. Hey, yeah, girl, I've been busy. Like just these moments in which that's actual real life. There's actual dang. I thought I pressed send on that message and I forgot. And da da da. Hey, I charge it to my head, not my heart moments. You know, like
Yay.
again, just things that submit the reality.
That's all I'm asking for. Just like more reality, and that's what I'm truly trying to accomplish, like making these characters feel like real people,
Yeah.
putting them in real life
Number
experiences.
one of the number one questions. when I'm doing my beta reading. That, and do you think your time was well spent? Like the time you took to read that, do you feel good about that time? Are you irritated that you gave me that little bit of time? Like that's all. Did it feel real, and did you have fun with that time? Because if you did, then I did what I came here to do.
That's an interesting question to ask. And I'd say that's pretty important too now with so many of us like complaining about picking up books where nothing happens for
Right.
pages and pages and pages on end, and then you get to the end and you feel like you don't know what you read because it didn't feel like much happened.
Right. Like it's something to be said about giving an 11-hour book your time and feeling like you wasted it. But you definitely didn't want to not finish it because you had given it so much of your time
Yes,
already. And now you're
that
like,
that be the struggle. Like once I get to a certain point of the book, well, I'm like,
I
well,
want to
hey,
stop
now I need to
because I've
finish.
already given you this much of my time. And then I'm like, why did I give you that much of my time? So it's that to me is an important question. And if you don't, then I want to work on it to get it that way, right? Like I want it to be better. Um, so I've been keeping that in the like forefront as I'm like continuing, right? Like, does it feel real and does it feel good?
And on that note, I think this is a good place to end right here.
All right.
Thank you so much for everybody who joined in for the sprints, for the conversation. I appreciate y'all coming out as always. It always gives me a lot to think about too with my writing.
I had a great
Anything
time.
coming up for you, Shay?
No, I had a great time. Y'all, I'm working on videos. Y'all will see them when y'all see them. So I don't have a time, but I'm working on it. I've been writing. So fingers crossed, maybe y'all will get a scary story for Black Queen. Fingers
I
crossed.
mean, you can always drop a TBR
Yeah.
video too, like
Oh
things you
yeah,
hope
no, there's
in
gonna
the
be a
future.
Black Queen TBR video, but like, other than that, that's not till the first maybe. That's a whole 12 days away. I'll try to get y'all video before that.
Yeah, well, I don't really have anything, but I've been dropping 1 to 2 times a week, so you'll probably see my next video next Monday.
All
I don't
right.
know if I'm gonna get any footage from Boston to show you guys. If I do, it'll probably be like a short reel because I'll be with my mom, so like I won't have too much time to film anyway.
All right, nice. Well, I hope you enjoy your trip.
Thank you, and thanks again to everybody who joined in for these sprints. Bye.
Bye.